Thank you guys in 1 minute. Today, ALYOSHA. Is he good? He's a really interesting support, but you really want his C6. Out of the weapons, Flavonius is probably your best option to go for. You can technically also use Escoffier's Signature or Frost Breath, but I would not pull a weapon specifically for him, because his buffs do not scale with his stats as with other characters, so you can easily build crit to proc Flavonius without sacrificing much for it. Artifacts, and basically you have two options. Hardwell Furnace, if there's no other user in the team, and the second option, and the one that I would go for 99% of the times, is Noblesse. And honestly, don't bother with his structure, because the 120 EM is not that good in this type of teams because of how much damage bonus and EM you're getting already. So 20% attack from Noblesse is much better in here. As for the stats, energy recharge, electro, and crit rate, and for the substats, ER is gonna be your main focus. You want enough energy recharge to burst every rotation, and after that, crit rate to proc Flavonius comfortably. Talent, and ignore his basic attack because it's useless, but the elemental skill and the ultimate are pretty important, especially the elemental skill. So whenever you hit somebody with the elemental skill or with the ultimate, it will apply them a mark, and this mark will increase the attack percentage of the active candidate by 20 to 25% depending on the level you have it on, and it will also increase the stellar conduct damage dealt by 20%. Teams, he's basically made for stellar conduct teams. At C6 is one of the best options competing with Escoffier. You technically can also use him as a support for the Mabuika teams. Important to say, if you don't have Yae, ALYOSHA gains a bit of value, but you should get Yae. Very important. Dupes, and his C1 lowers a bit his energy requirements. C2 is his best constellation before C6. It gives him a much better uptime on his buffs. C3 to C5 are pretty bad, but C6, oh boy, it's an important one. It gives his buffs an extra 25% attack, 20% stellar damage, and 100 elemental mastery. Basically, it more than doubles the buff that he gives. So, is he worth it? Honestly, at C0 he's a pretty bad unit. If you do not have Yae and you desperately need an electro for your stellar teams, he's usable. But if you're investing heavily in your stellar teams and you happen to get him C6 while pulling through that, then at C6 he's a really strong option.